Let's ooh, there was something on the wall, but first let's let's steal something. Let's steal the telescope. We need it. It has been inscribed to. No precision required for this. Another longish phrase, like a fragment of a phrase. There are a lot of options here. So let's start with maybe... There's a U, there's a me, there's a way, or a path at the end of the word. There is a U just, well, a your just before the way. Then follow your way. We might be able to decipher this thing. So this something will follow your way? I don't think that's the appropriate symbol. So it isn't follow. It might be something along the lines of find or point you to the place. So not follow. There's a symbol, yeah, guide you your way. Okay, so there's a symbol for saying and a symbol for path, so guiding would make sense. Then there's the symbol for machine. So this all comes down to this machine will guide your way, which makes perfect sense. Now, that's definitely not a flagpole, as there are no ropes and no fittings for any ropes. Evidently, it is a signal mast, a beacon, for sending something somewhere. Iox has a similar one for sending messages. Or does it? Where does the mast send to, 6? Wait, mistress. Yes, I believe I can deduce that, but it is hardly accurate enough to pinpoint a target. So we took a bearing from the signal mast. I hope that isn't Remba's observatory. If it is, I'm definitely missing something. There's nothing here. So if we took a bearing from the mast, we should probably have another update to the map. And then there's something scrawled on the wall. Several words. We have the word for before. And the word bring. Brings something before you. That's not right. Must be another phrasing. So before stays the same. And you goes in. And now we can probably translate it. And that's okay. We have a verb here of path. A sign for path and a sign for person. Then those two things, which mean take or hold, if I remember correctly. So, I really don't know. Let's start with the last one. Oh my god, this is those same symbols again. Hold. Hold and hold. Two of those. Huh. Something before you... If this... kneel before you watch. You know what? That would make sense if it's about the telescope. So that would mean that it should be pointed upwards and not down to the observatory. It does make sense. So, what was this place observing? The rivers. Nothing else seems plausible to me, mistress. See it that way? Probably right, what you're saying. It's the ruin near Myersian Observatory, too. The locations are interesting, mistress, separated but aligned. They suggest a triangulation, but a triangulation requires more than 2 points. So we do have to find a third site somewhere. Is that what you're saying? Don't make a lot of sense. Let's get out of here. Open the door, 6. Mistress. And? Ah. That's not good. Open the door, 6. It would seem the power to this control is not entirely functional. Presumably the system has not been used or maintained in some time. Are you saying we're trapped in here? Well, after a fashion, yes. Oh, cool. So hopper us out of here. I'm afraid the line of sight required is not available. Good. So we can head for the roof. An excellent idea, mistress. Please wait where you are. I will return momentarily. Okay, so he's just gonna hopper himself down, out. What was that? Was that 6? I don't think he hoppered himself out. He just jumped down from the roof. Mistress. He's happy with himself, isn't he? Oh crap, okay. Escape. Aha. I guess that's one way you can fix the lock. Cool. So that's one way you can escape. Let's get down to the dish. So what was this place? We know it was run by robots, some kind of recording station, observing the rivers. The crater itself is most likely a dock, a place for ships to land. Although gravity in the crater helps ships to take off from here. If this is Amadu's observatory, he's going to be quite disappointed. Not a servo in sight. We've collected one ancient artifact here, the telescope device. It would seem the site was connected to somewhere else. May I activate the hopper now, mistress? I want to get down to the center of the crater first, obviously. We need to check out what's down there on the bottom. There might be something pretty interesting. I hope so. I hope for a base. If I may see the device, mistress. What? Okay, here it is. Indeed, most interesting. What was that all about? What is it? It's a recording device, mistress. There is a Rebeski foil at its apex. What? Yeah. A what? A quantum mesh used for storing information for later recall. Really? So not a normal telescope. Can you read it back? No, mistress. I have a foil inside me, but there is no common language. But I can guess. Let's hear it. If this device is a telescope, perhaps it has been recording the movements of the sky. Was that it? That's pretty obvious. This section of the slope looks intact. No gaps between here and the lower level. Well, I could slide until you reach the bottom, mistress, where there is a sizable hole. Might be dangerous. Well then, I'll float down. You coming? I will follow. On my treads. Here goes. What the heck? By the goddess! Okay, we're down. Made it. Cool. Cool. Let's take a look around. So, down there is the hatch. And it seems to be the only point worth seeing, so check it out. The gravity really is low. I feel like a child again. 6, it's warm. Mistress, please. Maybe it'll... There's something underground, something powering this. There must be. Yes, that's what I'm counting on. Obviously. But what is it? I cannot tell, mistress. It resembles a well. But I do not believe there is a wellspring anywhere here. I guess it's time to pull the cover. An opening, mistress. Oh, Opening. Right. We can jump inside or look down or slice it. Or turn the robot off. Which I'm not sure why we're doing here, but just to be certain. So, stay there. You still don't really quite trust 6. Let's get inside. Here goes. Yep. And it didn't work. By the rivers. It bounced off it. Mistress, how did you... Are you intact? I flew, obviously. Camel's teeth. It seems clear. This hatch was the locus of an ancient upriver. Depleted now perhaps, but still active. You did not fly, mistress, you sailed. I'm a boat now. So, if this crater really had an upriver under that hatch, that raises so many questions. Where has the river gone? Was it artificial? Can you make a river? Divert one? These are big questions, aren't they? How far down do you think it goes, 6? I could not say, mistress. How about you shine a light down there? Of course. Crystals. It's lined with eyelight crystals. Like the one Renba left on Meerzi. Wow. So, the crystals here, they alter gravity. And they still work. Incredible. What should we do now? Maybe Oroi can help explain these crystals. The crystal is not mechanical, mistress, and I would advise caution. Let's see where this goes. Do not move, mistress. If you attempt to annihilate yourself by entering a vertical drop, I will hopper you immediately. And if you are falling, I might only get half of you. Really? Slice it. Boink. And there he goes. So, again, stay there like a good dog. Let's try again. And nothing happened. Oh, there's an upriver here. Then, what was the hatch for? Why was it closed? Fascinating, mistress. Closing off a river. And that's it? We don't acknowledge that something happened here? There are some symbols painted over the hatch. Let's check them out. Maybe this will explain the nature of this place. So there's a few words in this one. And I can clearly see some words for water and of course, little conjunctions. There is a word for river, and that makes sense. And towards, maybe? Not really. No, there is definitely a word for thing. We can add all those little things over here, but it's going to be a wrong translation, of course, which makes sense. No things. Go with river. Let's go with waters. Let's not go with of. Or maybe. Yeah, clearly incorrect, of course. Must be another phrasing. This time, I'm going to go with the same thing here. Come on. Now, waters. And the last thing that's available here is towards, of course. Now I see it. This is a long one, but I'm confident this says river. And now, we have a verb, path, and water. So flows. Then a noun, path of another noun, rock, another noun, and joining. Well, that probably makes a junction. Does river flows toward junction of waters make sense? Hey, this is telling us where the upriver went. Some kind of junction point. Can you take a bearing? I can, mistress. I can see the gravitational force lines still present here. I should know the bearing is not the same as that from the antenna mast. We have a new site indicated. An unknown ancient site somewhere in the 14 flows. Perhaps there is a wellspring directly below the opening. The water was directed into the river rather than saturating this moon. So we have an artificial river and an artificial metal dish. So this might not have been an observatory, at least not fully. At least, I mean, it had some equipment from an observatory. I do not. The iolite is natural. I believe the crystals have been set in place. There's no natural iolite on this moon. No, mistress. It has been brought here at some complexity to be charged with force from the upriver. Is that right? So ships came here to collect crystals from the hatch, maybe. Use them to flick themselves forwards. Perhaps the crystals don't create the upriver. Perhaps the upriver charges the crystals. It is very hard to say for anything certain, mistress. We have a few theories already, but nothing certain. Right. But the place is pretty impressive, isn't it? Let's maybe get out of here. I think it's time. So if the gravity effect is technological, mistress, then this place is a most important find. You're right. Depending on how low the gravity can go, a column of low gravity would allow ships to launch without an upriver. That would be something big, wouldn't it? There's nothing more here. Have we learned anything new? Was some kind of charging point for strong gravity effects inside the crystals. Shall I use the hopper again, mistress? You know what? Let's get out of here. Be ready. So, we left the surface of the cratered moon with the ramps. And yeah, that was a big one, a big discovery, wasn't it? Board the Nightingale. A strange find, that crater. Some kind of landing bay for ships? Built above a crystal deposit to make takeoff easier. Right. That does make sense. So, propellant-based ships 6, capable of exploring the dead sectors. The Nebula may be far, far larger than we first thought. And that is true. We've seen the map. We've seen the map with the unknown, the place of the unknown site. And it's pretty far away. So, the shard, definitely the same crystal as inside the hatch in the metal crater. Must have been useful somehow. We're making upriver. Now, I really should return this to Jersey. Though I've grown rather attached to it. Yeah, me too. Me too, Aliya. So, Amadu claimed this came from an observatory, but I still don't know what it is. We're talking about the shackle. Oroy might recognize it. From the roof of the cratered moon, the telescope. I still don't really understand what this thing is. Some kind of robotic contraption for robots. So the thing is, we should first maybe go to Jersey and take the little figurine with us. And as Jersey is pretty close to Elbereth and we hadn't been there yet, we should probably visit and find Oroy. And, I don't know, ask her all kinds of things. I'm going to rest. Very good, mistress. What is our heading? To Jersey, perhaps? Yep, back to Jersey. Yes, mistress. Jersey, a farming moon. Maybe they want their figurine back.
The soft, wet wind of Mayerzi hadn't seemed gentle before. I could see it now. Maybe Remba really had liked this place.
You know what? Who wouldn't? Pretty nice place. Apart from the stench of the pigs, of course. But other than that, it looks cozy. So, where do we go from here? This is definitely here, isn't it? Definitely. The quality of carving is poor, but there are unmistakable details. Do people from Mayerzi sail then? Did they live on that hideout moon? Or did Remba take the statue with him and leave it there? It is unlikely they sail, mistress. Moons in the Protectorate are mostly without boats of their own.
I had the clay figurine with me, in my bag, wrapped up safely in a cloth.
Yeah. Should we go up already? Do some exploring. What we can get for this thing. I am sure the people here will be most grateful for the return of their statue, for some reason or other. Maybe they'll give us something in return. Oh, so we're already in the center of the village, down by the well.
Everything on Mayerzi was as we'd left it. The flowers still bloomed. The water still bubbled.
Greetings once more, stranger. Tell us quickly, did you find your men? Yeah, I found the remains of his ship. The fire in the sky. I am sorry for your loss. Right. Thanks. I brought you something. Look at this. Ibenya, where did you find this? You know what? It was on a distant moon by a ruined house in the middle of a hurricane. This is a hermit's effigy, given to a hermit when they go out alone to remind them of the place that gave them birth. See? Here. She opens. What? And I didn't notice that earlier? Do you see inside? A word! Who would have thought? This is one phrase run together. We have some things we already know here. So first of all, waters, which is nothing too surprising considering it was a statue of the water goddess. Then the word for join, a conjunction, a word for us, and another us. So we are confident about our translation for join right now. So the water divides us and joins us. That's pretty easy. Impressive. So I'd assume she was a goddess of fertility, not travel, but it makes sense that she might be both. Interesting. Does our goddess ask us to sail? No one knows how to sail. Iox denies it to us. We will put Kibenya back in the well shrine. She prefers the damp. She has been on a long journey, I think. That's right. Wait, something fell out. It's here in the grass. What is this? Is this a Rebeski foil? Indeed, mistress. Someone hid it inside the figure. Perhaps it is of little interest to me. The foil is yours if you want it, Ioxian. I hope you find it of value. Good faith to you, good lady. Oh, so he actually likes us now. Very good. We've made some friends. So we have an engraved square of foil. Now we just have to figure out how to read this. So did Renba hide the Rebeski foil inside the Mayerzian statue? He left it on that rocky moon to be found and sent the brooch to Mayeri to lead her on a trail to find it. Maybe it's connected to the last Emperor's body, but maybe it isn't. But if that was Renber's plan, Mistress, why not simply send the foil? That's a good question, Six. We need to find out what's on this foil. Elbereth, then. Oh, and you're not happy about that, are you? But we do have to go there. A touching scene, Mistress. Time to depart? I think so. Do it. Do it. This way, Mistress. So we left the surface of Myersey, the farming moon.